Welcome everybody. Those of you online, very welcome to join the course session this evening. Everybody in the room, also extremely welcome. So I'd like you to find a comfortable position to sit in. You can sit with the legs crossed or in a half lotus position as I'm sitting right now, or on the knees, and whatever is comfortable for you. One of the things that we can talk about is to be able to relax. You just place a cushion under the base of the spine. This will support the lower back, allow your shoulders to relax, and you'll be able to sit comfortably into the body and to the pelvis without actually having any physical effort to stay there. Once, of course, the muscles in the body are used to this, you will be able to do this without the cushion. But right now, it's very good to place it there. So we're going to rest the hands gently on the knees. You can have the palms of the hands up towards the top of the room, and today again we're going to take the first of the mudra positions, which is top of the first finger and top of the thumb together, the other three fingers completely relaxed. And here we can gently close the eyes if you wish to. We're just going to take some deep conscious breaths through the nose. Feel how we fill the lungs with air. And gently empty the lungs. Become aware of the movement of the body as you breathe. And now releasing any control over the breath. Allow the body to breathe completely by itself. Notice where in the body is breathing. Whether it's deep or shallow, stomach or chest, or both. We watch without judgment, right or wrong. We're simply watching the body breath. Still allowing the body to, of course, breathe completely by itself. But I encourage you to now become aware of your body, the contact between your body and the floor. Reaching down beneath you to the earth that supports and holds everything. And now coming up to your mind and looking today beyond your thoughts. Finding the center of this space. Imagining yourself settling into this space, in the center of the mind. And watching everything that surrounds this point. It is the center point of your universe. The place of your soul. And here we can watch the breath, we can watch the body, we can even watch the space that surrounds you. watching the sounds, and simply allowing everything to be exactly as it is. Releasing any thought of how we should be or not be. Allowing everything. And now slowly, gently, and when you are ready, opening the eyes. Welcome. It is important to take this short period of time to just land in the body, land on the mat, in the space that you're in. And in this way, because we're becoming more conscious of what we're actually doing and how we're sitting and how we're breathing, then we start to watch in a different way. A lot of people, unfortunately, hurt themselves during yoga. And this is generally, in my opinion, just lack of conscious awareness. If something is hurting you, then don't do it. It's very simple. And this yoga is definitely for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're really stiff, it doesn't matter if you're really flexible, if you're an advanced person or you want to do a little bit more today or a little bit less today. It doesn't really matter. It is individual. And the only thing that's important is that you are consciously doing 100% of what you and your body can do. And if you're doing that, then basically you're doing 100% yoga. So try not to think of this as difficult positions or anything like that. It's just a way to be. And the more we practice this, the easier the body and the mind starts to accept this. And as we accept this, then the acceleration of how things change for us is very different from if just trying to do things actually slows down the process. It sounds sort of counterintuitive, but we're trying here to just release everything and let go of responsibility. So we're going to come to the back of the mat. We're going to come onto the knees. So it's just to gently come to a position where you can sit on the feet. As I said before, again here we can use the cushion under the ankles or between the legs, whatever it is that makes it feel as comfortable as possible for you. And we're going to start today in hero position, so I'd like you to gently rest the hands onto the knees and relax your shoulders. In yin yoga, we're not trying to sit straight or lengthening the spine. I'd like you to sit down into your pelvis and just rest the hands onto the knees. Allow the arms to be heavy and the shoulders. And then again, if you wish to, closing the eyes. Yin yoga really is just a fluid consciousness. For example, now we are sitting on the knees and the body is being supported in a completely different way. We can relax the lower back, can sit down onto the cushion or onto your heels. Allow the heaviness of your arms. From the shoulders to the elbows, from the elbows to the wrists, hands resting on the knees and even the fingers. As I've said many times before, even if you are new to yoga or new to yin yoga, there is a myth going around that you should not move. You should stay still for the entire time of each position. And this is simply not true. If you feel discomfort, then it's just to move so that you feel less discomfort or none at all. Another way of thinking about the body and the way that it reacts to different positions is to focus on everything else. The sounds in the room, the earth beneath you, the sky above you. So I'm going to encourage you now to open your eyes gently. And we're going to come forward with the body. So we lift the hips away from the feet or the cushion. You can leave the cushion in the same position if you wish. And we're going to place the hands under the shoulders. So we're supporting from the wrists to the shoulders. Make sure the body is nice and balanced. And if you wish to, you can separate the knees just a little bit. And we're going to reach out with the right hand over the mat. Not stretching out from the shoulder, but just coming to a position where this is the maximum position without any stress. And then we place the hand gently onto the mat. Doing the same thing on the left side. We're now going to separate the knees to the sides of the mat. And here at the moment, I would like you to leave the toes together at the back of the mat. We're going to come into a position called melting heart. So we inhale and exhale gently, bringing the hips back towards the feet and bringing the elbows to the mat. Once we've done that, we're going to move the right hand to the inside of the left elbow and then continue back just a little bit deeper into the hips and resting the forehead and nose onto the mat. Here we relax the lower back, the knees, again the toes and the fingers. Still allowing the body to breathe naturally. Following the breath if you wish to. Be conscious of any change in the body or the mind as we practice. And the word practice is very useful, especially in yoga. You can remind yourself each time you are practicing yoga that it is called yoga practice, not yoga perfect. You can relax the lower back just a little bit more. Imagine the stomach becoming heavier and heavier. The chest relaxed. The upper back. And now feeling and being conscious of your heart resting within the chest. It too being supported by the earth beneath you, the gravity. Relax the knees just that little bit more. And the ankles. The more we can experience the fluidity of the change in consciousness, the easier this transformation becomes. You might, for example, find that as the upper back relaxes, the neck actually lengthens. And for me at the moment, I can feel that there's a little bit of tension in the neck here because of the relaxation through the spine. So I'm just going to lift the head away from the mat just a little bit. Allow the body to come a little bit deeper, and then place the forehead and nose back onto the mat. Now I'm aware that the neck is more relaxed. The body is not holding away from the position. Alright, so we're going to take a deep breath, inhale. We're just gently going to come forward with the hips. This will lift the head away from the floor. And then we can move the right hand out so it's parallel with the left, and then we come forward again and just lift. Place the hands under the shoulders once more, so we're supporting from the wrist to the shoulders, and relax the neck so the head hangs down between the arms. This will help the body to just relax in the upper back just a little bit more. Good. We lift the head, and again we're going to reach out with the right hand over the mat and just place the hand onto the mat, and the same on the left side. Good. We then inhale and exhale as we gently come back again with the hips, and the elbows come down to the mat. So just slightly bend the elbows until they meet the mat. And this time, of course, we're now going to move the left hand to the inside of the right elbow. We then exhale and push just a little bit further back, or allow the body to sink into the pelvis and closer to the feet. So again, we can relax the hips here, the lower back. Another nice practice in the yin yoga is to, even if the eyes are closed, be conscious of the room or the space that you are in. Relaxing the lower back just that little bit more, and the hips. Chest, the upper back, again, the heart resting within the chest. If you wish to, of course, lifting the head, lengthening the back just that little bit more without any effort, and then just placing the forehead and nose back onto the mat. So earlier I mentioned the breath and allowing the body to breathe completely by itself. Of course, normally this is the practice of the yin yoga, just to allow the breath. But in the beginning, and especially if you're not used to this fluid consciousness, we can take a deep breath. Now, as we do this, you're going to feel how the body lifts away from the floor or the mat. And then a long exhale. And as we exhale, I want you to feel how the body sinks even deeper into the position. This conscious awareness of this deepening with the breath becomes more and more automatic. In many ways, what we're doing is just teaching the mind to let go of all responsibility. In the beginning, there can be a lot of objection to that in the mind or the brain, because it's always been busy and it thinks it should be. What we're teaching the mind here is to just relax, allow everything to be exactly as it is, and not do anything at all. You can imagine it in this way as well, that the less we think, the less we do, the less it disturbs actually experiencing everything that surrounds you. So each time you find yourself doing something or focusing on the ego and thinking, oh, I should go a little bit deeper, I'm not flexible enough or something like this, we just let that go. Some humor is also a good thing to have in yoga. So if you find yourself thinking these thoughts, it's just to be amused by it and notice it, let go. And then we lift the head, we come forward onto the elbows again, we move the left hand forward parallel to the right, and we come up onto the hands and bring the hands again under the shoulders. We're going to place the knees together in the center of the mat now, and we're going to allow the body to come back towards the feet. And if the cushion is still there, of course, you can land gently onto it again. And as we lift the upper body, you're going to find that the hands naturally glide up onto the knees. And again, we're going to find this position where we can sit down into the pelvis and we close the eyes. Again, arms heavy, shoulders relaxed. And I want you to become aware that maybe we're sitting just that little bit deeper onto the feet or the cushion. Good. We're going to open the eyes now. And we're going to come to a position sitting with the legs straight. So we just gently come forward. I'm going to sit in the middle of the mat so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to come into a spinal twist, which we have done before. But there are several different ways of doing this, which I will show you as we do this. What we want to do in the beginning is to just bring the left foot under the right thigh. So we're not sitting onto the foot, we're just bringing it into the buttock. And at the same time, I want you to think about looking at the left knee. And we want to have the left knee straight forward from your hip, or 90 degrees to your mat if you're sitting as I am doing. Then we're going to take the right foot and we're going to place it on the outside of the left knee. And here we want to check that the front of the ankle and the front of the knee are basically in a straight line with each other. So we don't want the foot too far back and we don't want the foot too far forward. So we can check this each time. Just rub gently across the front of the ankle and the knee. Now, while we're in this position and as we get more advanced, I want you to now imagine how the right buttock then comes closer to the mat. And here we have the few variations which I was talking about. you can place the left hand onto the knee, for example, and relax the arm. As you do this, the weight of the arm is just going to pull the knee just that little bit further in. And I don't mean physically pulling the knee, I mean just the weight of the arm will do this. Otherwise, we can come into a deeper position, which is to bring the left elbow to the front of the knee. And we take gently on the wrist with the right hand. And again, allow the right buttock to sit into the position. Now, as we go through the term, we're going to look at other ways of doing this position again. But right now, either of these variations will be fine. We now gently turn the head and look back over your right shoulder. And here we can practice having the eyes open. Again, if you wish to, you can take this long inhale. Feel how the body lifts, and then exhale and allow the body to sink even deeper into the position. Again, as I said in Yin Yoga, we're not trying to lengthen the spine or to the crown of the head. We're just allowing the body to come into a position where it can sit into the gravity, being supported by the earth beneath you. Expanding and contracting in and out of the space that surrounds you. The interesting thing is with Yin Yoga is that as we breathe or we allow this natural breath, the body automatically starts to relax by itself. So if you just turn your head just that little bit more, you'll find that there's no effort. It just turns. And here we want to make sure that we're not actually physically trying to turn the neck. So those of you who wish to, you can look at me if you wish. I'm not trying to look behind me or pushing the body into the position. I'm just allowing it to be what it is. And the interesting thing is that as the right buttock comes closer and closer to the mat, of course, the spine starts to straighten. And as the spine straightens, this just allows a little bit more rotation in the neck. So it's not magic, although it can feel like that sometimes. If the body is behaving anatomically correct, it will simply do just that little bit more. So what we're practicing is the ability to watch. And as this ability to watch develops in the mind and the body, you'll find that each breath there is a slight extra rotation. Sometimes it can also help if you just gently repeat silently to yourself each time you exhale, relax. 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 Good. We're gently going to release this position. So we rotate back so that we're facing forward again. Uncross the legs, of course. And today we're going to directly change sides. So now we're going to take the right foot under the left thigh into the buttock. We then move the knee so that it comes 90 degrees to the mat, or straight forward from the hip. And now placing the left ankle on the outside of the right knee. We check again, front of the ankle, front of the knee. We are conscious that now the left buttock sits down into the mat or as deep as possible, and then either using the right hand on the knee, relaxing the arm, or again, if you wish to, taking the elbow of the right arm around the knee and then holding the wrist with the left hand. Again, heavy in the arm on the left side, which just gently helps the position. We sit even deeper into the left side, closer and closer to the mat, and then we gently turn the head, and again we look behind us. One of the things that I generally encourage, especially during the yin yoga, is the actual comparison. So for example, now we've changed sides. Is it easier on this side for you? Is it perhaps a little more stiff? Maybe if we were feeling tension on the right side, it is not in the same place as now on the left. So we become more and more aware of where we are working by doing nothing. This is a concept that is difficult for the mind to accept, especially in the beginning, as I said. Work by doing nothing. Now you'll find that as the left buttock comes into the mat, of course the spine naturally straightens. You're going to find that we can just turn the head just that little bit more without any effort. Maybe you notice that the breath becomes more and more relaxed. Relaxing the left shoulder and the left arm just that little bit more. The toes, the fingers. Good. And gently release the position and rotate back to the center. We're going to come directly into easy lotus. So we're going to bring now the left heel into the center of the groin. Again, with the knee approximately 45 degrees out to the left, with the left knee of course. And then we're going to place the heel of the right foot in a straight line with the heel of the left. So basically the toes of the right foot are now pointing towards your left knee, and we want to here make sure that both both pelvis bones are sitting equally onto the mat. So not more onto the right or not more onto the left, but just central into the body here. I'd like to encourage you now to actually take the elbows down to the mat in front of the legs. If this is not possible, just bringing the hands to the mat or the floor. It doesn't matter if you're up in this position. Those of you that are new to my yoga lessons, it might interest you to know that when I started doing yoga, I was extremely physically handicapped. In fact, at the age of 21, I spent many months in hospitals sitting in a wheelchair. I lost the use of my legs. Many years later, I am now a yoga teacher, which means that it brings life to the fact that I say anything is possible. So if you remember in the beginning of this session, I was talking about the fact that the body will simply do what the body can do, and doing this to 100% each time just allows the body to come that little bit deeper. So eventually you will come down to the elbows, and eventually you will be able to come all the way down to the forehead on the floor. So we just continue breathing. Going back to the physical form of my body, for me this position took 15 years before my head would touch the floor. So there's no hurry to do the positions. There are no goals, because the goals are constantly moving. One of the beautiful things about this particular practice is that each time we practice watching, we find that the body responds in a way that we're not used to. It actually relaxes. It's almost as if the body smiles back at you. If I look around the room at the moment, I'm looking at Marlin. She's now very, very aware that I'm looking at her. But the change in Marlin's position is enormous from the first lesson to today. And there's nothing that I have done. Marlin is just simply learning to watch. And as she watches, she relaxes. And so it continues. So it's a very beautiful thing to watch. It's like a flower that blossoms towards the sun. It is effortless, but beautiful at the same time. Relax the hips just that little bit more. We lift the elbows just a little bit off the floor so that we make sure that we're not using the arms to support the body. You might have found in the beginning that the forehead came to the floor, and now it's maybe the forehead and the nose. And as this position is a little bit more intense than the positions that we started with today, we're going to gently release this after the 3 minutes. and just gently come up out of the position. So here, of course, you can use the hands if you wish. I like to think that we're sort of putting the spine back together again, like building one bone on top of the other as we come up. It's a very nice thing to feel. It's not just somebody telling you to sit up. It's to come out with a respect for the body. We're going to change, bringing now the right heel into the center of the groin. Now bring the left heel in a straight line with the right heel. And of course now the toes of the left foot are now pointing to the right knee. Again, we come forward to the position that your body can do. Remember here, we're not trying to challenge the body to do more than it actually can. It is just to allow exactly what the body can. If it helps, you can move the hands towards each other in the center. You'll notice how the shoulders relax even more when we do this. And just for interest, you can move the hands out again, away from each other, and just feel the difference in the shoulders. And then bring the hands together in the center and again feel the difference in the shoulders. So we can relax the neck as we come deeper and deeper into the position, of course. So if you remember on the other side, I was sort of encouraging you to the point where the head eventually will come to the floor. And again, this is not about polishing your ego, it's just to allow this to happen when it happens. And as I said before, it took me 15 years. And one of the things that's important with this particular position is that the buttocks actually stay on the mat. So we don't want to lift the buttocks away from the mat in order to get the forehead and nose to the mat. We allow the buttocks to come onto the mat. We gently come forward and we allow the body to come down. We breathe and watch. If you're still on your hands, allow the arms from the shoulder to the wrist to support. We relax the neck just that little bit more. So the chin comes in towards the chest. And as we do this, the spine naturally starts to round. The pelvis relaxes just that little bit more. Take a deep breath again. Slowly exhale, relaxing the neck just that little bit more. You'll notice the chin comes even closer into the chest. And maybe you can just move the hands just that little bit further away, or coming even deeper onto the elbows. Or as I said before, maybe even the forehead and the nose are now on the mat. Good. You gently come up out of the position. And again, if you wish to, using the hands, just putting the spine back together again. until you come to a sitting position. Find a comfortable position to sit in now. It doesn't really matter if it's half lotus or full lotus or simply with the legs crossed. I want you to place the hands on the front of the knees and then allow the body to sink back behind you and bring the chin into the chest. So rounding the whole of the spine. So here we're not trying to hold the body from falling over, we're actually allowing the body to sink down into itself. Notice the change in the breath. Relaxing the fingers, the hands and the wrists. Again, heavy arms here, shoulders relaxed. Good. Gently come up out of the position. Good. So some of you may be wondering why some of the positions we're holding maybe to 5 or 3 minutes and other positions just short. In this particular position that we've just practiced, this is just a position of rest between other positions. So of course if we were forward in this position, then it's nice to actually go in this direction afterwards and allow the spine to again relax. And this rotation in the pelvis creates flexibility. We're now going to lie on the stomach. So we come to this position however we wish, but I suggest that we do it as lazily as possible. So I'm just bringing yourself down to the mat. Use everything you can to make it as relaxed as possible. I'm going to move the feet out to the corners of the mat, at the back of the mat. And we're going to look at the elbows. And we're going to just make a straight line between the elbows with the lower arms, so the hands are resting on top of each other. So if your hands are at your elbows, move the elbows apart so that the hands are resting on top of each other. And then bring the forehead down onto both hands in the center. And here we can allow the heels to fall into the center. And again, encouraging here the lower back to just relax in a slightly different way. Allow the chest here to be heavy, the neck relaxed. Maybe you need to move the elbows forward and the hands, and so that the neck can relax and lengthen. Again, here we can just gently lift the elbows away from the mat, make sure we're not supporting with the arms. Good. So we gently lift the head, leaving the elbows exactly where they are. I'd like you to now bring the lower arms forward, so they're straight forward from the elbows. Now we're going to gently bring the knees up on the outside of the mat. Curl the toes a little bit up towards your shoulders, and then we just sit into this position. Now here, if it is too much, you can rest the forehead onto the mat. Otherwise, we can come just a little bit further up with the upper body and rest onto the elbows. So we have this support from the elbows to the shoulders. And here we allow the head to just sit down on top of this position. Again, here I'd like you to be conscious of what's happening in the lower back. The stomach comes more and more in contact with the mat. And again, we can be conscious of exactly how everything feels in the body. You're just almost scanning through your body and saying, oh, where is it maybe just feeling just that little bit more? Maybe it's a stretch that you want to have. Maybe it's a discomfort that you don't wish to have. Let's, for example, take an example of the shoulders. In the beginning, as I said, this can also be quite intense for the shoulders, so of course we can move the hands in towards the center, placing the hands on top of each other, and I want you to feel now how that helps your shoulders relax. You can still have the support from the elbows to the shoulders, but the shoulders will rotate just that little bit further forward. And as we want to experience just a little bit more change, then we can have the hands straight forward from the elbows. And this will, of course, change how the shoulders feel. So sometimes it's nice to just do the yin yoga in the most relaxed possible way. And then maybe another time you're still as relaxed as possible, but maybe curious if you can just relax that just that little bit more. So if you like, you could bring the knees just that little bit further forward. Relax the stomach down into the mat just that little bit more. I'd also like you to look at your body in a way that you have humor with everything. Although there are times in our lives where we need to be as serious as possible, yoga is not one of these times. So if you want to make a little smile on the face, it's just to repeat to yourself, maybe repeat a few times. And see whether the body responds. Good. We're now going to bring the feet together in the center of the mat. And today we're going to just roll over to the back. Coming towards the end of this program for today. Again, we're going to finish the session with a nice long relaxation. But we're going to finish today with one of my favorite positions, the banana position. So we're going to bring the feet together in the center of the mat. I'd like you to bring the right shoulder to the right side of the mat. Or, as I've said before, if you want a little deeper, you can bring the head all the way to the side of the mat. Look then down the right side of the mat and move the right heel to the corner of the mat. And then cross the left ankle over the right ankle. and allowing the left buttock to gently return towards the mat. Placing both hands under the back of the neck here and looking towards the top of the room or with the eyes closed. It's an extremely pleasant position to be in. You can feel the gentle expansion on the left side, maybe in the lower part of the stomach, the lower part of the back again, which, if you haven't guessed, is where we've been working a lot today by doing absolutely nothing. You feel the gentle compression on the right side, the lower back at the hip, lower part of the stomach. I'd like you to feel the weight of your head in your hands and relax the shoulders so that the elbows come just that little bit closer to the floor. And spending these last few minutes just giving total and utter responsibility for the earth beneath you to take the body to the relaxation. While we're just gently breathing in this position, just feeling all the subtle changes as the body relaxes. Maybe expanding your consciousness just that little bit more. And just feeling the air against your skin. Maybe a difference in temperature. Maybe movement in the air as it passes over your body. If you are outside, maybe it's a gentle breeze. Maybe it's warm air, cool air. And if you watched carefully, you'll be able to feel this even on the inside of the nose. Breathing through the nose, you can feel how the air as it passes into the body is a little bit cold. And as you breathe out, noticing the air in the nose is now warm. Relaxing the neck just that little bit more. And then we're going to release the hands from under the head. So again, returning the head gently to the floor by keeping the neck completely relaxed. And then gently moving the body back to the center of the mat. So we uncross the ankles, left foot comes to the center of the mat, right foot comes to the left. We then bring the upper body back to the center of the mat. Relax, allow the hips to fall, the feet to fall out to the sides, before we then change sides. So again, feet together, center of the mat. Moving now the left shoulder to the side of the mat or the head. Looking down the left side of the mat, bringing the left heel to the corner of the mat, right ankle over the left, and relaxing the lower back so that the right buttock comes in contact with the mat. Placing the hands again behind the neck. Feeling the gentle expansion now on the right side, lower part of the stomach, lower back. Gentle compression on the left. Those of you joining this class online, if you find that there's somewhere in the body that you would like to work, maybe just writing it in the comments. And I'll have a look and see what positions we can practice to help that. Again, just for these last few moments, just being completely aware of the lower back, which, as I said, is where we've been primarily working today. Or allowing the body to work with doing absolutely nothing. Simply watching. Good. So again, we gently remove the hands from under the head and allowing the head to slide off the hands and back to the floor or the mat. So the neck stays relaxed. We then uncross, of course, the ankles, bringing the right foot now to the center of the mat, left foot to the right, and then gently bringing yourself back to the center of the mat in a way that is most comfortable for you. You now come to Savasana. So I'd like to encourage you to bring the heels maybe again to the corners of the mat. Maybe placing a blanket over the body, just to retain the heat. Making sure that both shoulder blades are on the mat. And we can do this by moving the arms just gently away from the side of the body, and this will be unique to you when the shoulders feel completely on the mat. For me, it's approximately 45 degrees out with the arms and the palms of the hands towards the top of the room. But this might be different for you. So just finding this position where both shoulder blades are resting on the floor. Gently closing the eyes. Be conscious of the body now lying on the floor and the support from the back of the heels and all the way to the back of your head. And now repeating this process, but this time becoming aware of the space between the body and the floor. Maybe back of the knees, maybe the lower back. Maybe part of the spine is not lying on the floor. Again, here there are no rights and no wrongs. This is just to experience your body lying on the floor, supported by the sky above you and the earth beneath you. Once again here, coming to the center of your mind, beyond your thoughts. Imagining this space to be round. And that you are the center point of this space. The more we can sit in this place without thought, without being interrupted by thoughts or feelings or emotions or sounds, the more we simply watch, the more we become aware of everything that surrounds this point. Your body, the mat, the floor, the earth, the sky, even the trees, grass, roots, flowers, animals. Everything that is part of this earth. We are not simply walking on this earth. You are part of this earth. Now imagining yourself lying on a raft in a gently moving river. It is a beautiful sunny day, and you feel the warmth of the sun against your skin, the gentle breeze as it passes over your body. Comforting like a warm embrace from a dear or loved friend, family member. But you are completely by yourself, floating effortlessly on the raft in the river. You feel the gentle movement of the water, maybe the sounds of the water. You become aware of the nature as it passes, or as you pass the nature. Maybe there are trees, animals, rocks, maybe cliffs. It is slow, gentle, constant movement. The same as the breath, the gentle rise and the fall of the body as the body breathes. You look up into the sky above you, and far, far above you, you see an eagle floating effortlessly in the currents of the air above you. And as you are looking at the eagle, you simply become the eagle. You see through its eyes. You feel the strength of your wings, the feathers, gently resting against the air that surrounds you. You feel the movement of the air, just as you felt the movement of the water. It feels completely effortless and undemanding strength, simply from complete relaxation. Resting on the gentle air currents as they lift your body higher and higher. You look down, you see the nature, the trees and the river, and yourself floating effortlessly on the raft. And again, as if it had never happened, you find yourself resting on the raft. A little smile comes to the corner of the lips. I'm wondering if you just, for a second, fell asleep and had a little dream that you were an eagle, looking down from the skies above you. You continue without effort to flow with the stream, with the direction of the water. Do not fight against it. You are part of it. And eventually you will float effortlessly into the sea, the oceans of the world. At the same time, we can float effortlessly into consciousness in exactly the same way. We don't have to reach out to consciousness. It is surrounding us every second of our lives. Now gently coming back to the body, lying on the floor or the ground. Feeling once again the breath, the support, the feeling somehow of belonging. Noticing that the body is completely still, but full of life. We can experience this flow of energy as streams, ripples, maybe small vibrations. It is your life force. And is unique to you. when you are ready. And if you wish to, gently moving the fingers and the toes, gently waking the body, maybe having a little stretch, whatever is feeling as beautiful as possible for you in this moment. Coming gently back to the physical form of the body, the space that you are in. Maybe looking around, before gently coming up from the floor to a sitting position. I'd like you to bring the hands together, just to finish together, just in front of the third eye, which is a point just between the eyebrows. And then bring the hands gently down in front of the heart. So we relax the arms down. So the weight of the arms is bringing the hands together in the center. We take a deep breath together. We exhale and relax forward down towards the earth beneath you. We then inhale, gently coming up out of the position. And exhaling the hands gently to the knees. Again, if you wish to, palms of the hands up. Relax the shoulders. Namaste. Have a beautiful evening and sleep well. Welcome. We'll take a short break and then we're going to have another class.